All right, cool, man. Chris, for anyone not listening, some quick context about the story, the hustle, everything you've been doing. Obviously, you've built this empire out in the sporting space. Just a bit of intro for anyone who's under a rock that doesn't know you yet. Chris,
Yeah.
what's the intro? How do you explain yourself when people ask who you are?
So if I'm in a bar or an Uber, I've invented the world's first four-way volleyball game. It's called Crossnet. It is now the second largest backyard game in all of North America and rapidly growing. It's been 5 years in, and we're having an absolute blast. Um, Created a sport which seems like it's been overnight, but it's been a grind. And selling a product that was made up in your head just a few years ago is a crazy experience. But we're so thankful that people actually love it, and it's caught on.
What's that saying? It's like overnight success in 10 years,
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that.
Overnight success in 5 years.
Yeah. Where'd the idea come from? Like, are you a sporting guy? Like, what did your
Yeah,
back?
we grew up playing sports. I grew up actually. So all three of us founders never played volleyball a day in our life. We actually suck at volleyball,
Right.
and we were brainstorming one night, just writing down a bunch of ideas of like what are games that we can make. No, sorry, not games. What are products that we could invent? Because we were all at different stages of our life. For me, I was working a sales job at Uber, selling to restaurants, literally
Mm,
picking up my phone 50, 70 times a day. Did I make the dials? Did I cold call every restaurant trying to get them on the Uber Eats platform? It sucked. I was making a
right.
lot of money. I was like, it was a cool job, but it was one of those jobs that you knew you were going to leave in like 12 months just to get another paycheck somewhere else that's a little bit, let's call it 5 or 10K higher.
Right.
And then my other founders, they just graduated college or dropped out of college if you're my brother, and didn't want to go get that real job yet. So we were brainstorming. Four-way volleyball was written down, and we're like, oh, somebody's already doing this, right? Franklin or one of those big companies, and nobody was doing it. And there's not a single photo on the internet of it.
And at the time, did you think that because no one's doing it? Because I always have tons of these cool ideas, and I think they're a blast. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, no one's doing it. It must be a good idea. And I'm
exactly.
I'm right on the fence of like, is it a shit idea or is this a billion-dollar company? And
Yeah,
I'm on the fence. Like, how did you guys decide that like this was it? Was it like validation? Was it that you guys just took the jump? What was it?
yeah. I mean, we created the game. So the next day, we woke up. We went to Walmart. We got two badminton nets, cut out the center, and made like a shitty prototype in my mom's backyard.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of my friends over and we played. And bro, we played for like 3 hours straight, making up the rules. And we're like, dude, this is so fucking fun. If we would have fun with it,
Right.
why wouldn't you up in Toronto have fun with it? Why wouldn't every kid in America have fun with it? So that was all of our proof of concepting was done 12 hours later.
Oh man, that's crazy. And then so you guys launched on your website first. Was that the
Yeah.
first place that people were buying product? Like,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
who
we
bought the first
launched.
product?
Nobody was buying anything. CrossNetGame.com was dead. So we launched in October. It was cold in Connecticut where we're from, and we like moved to Miami right afterwards. And then we just started selling like one a day was like the
Right.
goal. If we could sell one a day at the beach, and then all of a sudden, what happened was we'd meet people in Miami. Let's just use you for example, right? You come down to Miami for a bachelor party. We hound you at the beach. You buy one, you're drunk. You buy one for $100, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, we start getting sales from Toronto.
Right.
And we're like, dude, we've never even been to Toronto. How are we getting sales in Toronto? Because we're not running ads at this time. And we're like, that dude from the beach is out playing. So all of
Mm,
a sudden, we meet this girl, we meet this guy, we meet this couple, and sales start coming in from the most random places. And what we kind of started to learn was the more nets we got out in the world, the easier it was to set up, the more like training and education we gave to the people. They would go home and have a blast with it and do exactly what we were doing in South Beach, but in their local towns. And like I'm looking outside, like right now, I have a beautiful park in front of my house. There should be a net set up there. Just there's thousands of impressions that I could be getting that I'm not getting right now. So that's the way I think about it.
when they were on the beach, were they just paying cash? Did they just have cash in pocket and
Yeah,
you
it
guys
was
were just
cash,
doing a
Venmo,
transaction?
whatever it was. Here's Venmo, or give me a beach chair instead. We'll swap products. So whatever it was, just to kind of not have to pack up the Crossnet, because the Crossnet takes like 5 or 10 minutes to set up. So it was like, you break it down and give me $100, we're good.
The CRA must have loved that,
Yeah.
or the
So it
IRA,
was,
whatever that one is in the US. That's hilarious.
yeah, it was fun. So that was the beginnings, and now we're in, call it, 3,000 stores and just rapidly growing. A lot of new product extensions, a lot of fun stuff we're coming out with.
When did you know that the product had enough validation? Like, what was there a bench point? Was it a dollar amount that you guys set beforehand? Like those mental targets of
Yeah,
like,
no, I
oh shit,
think
it's
I think it had
100
validation from our prototype. Like
right?
like I said, we had fun with it. So why wouldn't everyone else have fun with it? We're just average American kids that like to have fun and play sports. There was a point where I always say we're still selling the same game that we are 5 years later. That just meant that I sucked at marketing, right? I just didn't know what I was doing at the time, and also we didn't have the cash, right, bro? Like we were with $20,000 to our name.
Right.
Half of that was in product. Like we didn't know what we were doing. Um, I worked in sales, and I worked as a janitor and a cafeteria worker before, right? Like I wasn't a Facebook marketing guru. Like I didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
So
And with when you guys really started to get the acceleration, so with the retail stores, now you guys have distribution. How many doors are you guys in now?
3,000 plus.
When did that first store come in, and how
Yeah.
did that happen?
So that was Shields. I actually reached out on LinkedIn, kind of did some Uber sales skills, and I found the buyer on LinkedIn. And I
Right.
said, "Hey, bro, you need this 4-way volleyball game. Like, how do you not have
You
this in
need
your
it. Yeah.
store?" And he placed an order for 16 units, and back then that was life changing money. It was about $3,500, and
Simple.
they didn't sell. They didn't sell for months. It was awful, and our packaging was shit. It was pretty much. I thought we had lost the account. And then one night we hit our first viral video. It was like 5 million views, thousands of comments. And he emails me back and says, they all sold out overnight. I don't know what happened. Can I get more? And
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, I'll give you a $5 discount if you go nationwide. And he's like, sure. So we went nationwide.
Wow. Interesting. Now, so just so I have the timeline straight. Oh, it's big in Canada, but it's huge in the US. The
Like,
one where you when did Spike Ball come out in transition? Because obviously that was a huge boom too.
yeah.
Did you see that play out? Was it around the same timing? Where did
No,
that
so
evolution
Spike
happen?
Ball's been out for, don't quote me on this, but 15 or 17 years at this point.
Oh, okay.
So they've had their time. It's rapidly growing still, so good on them. We grew up playing Can Jam, the frisbee game, which is, I
Yeah.
don't think that popular in Canada, but that was our game growing up. Without Can Jam, there's probably no Crossnet. So yeah, but really what we saw, bro, is like there's two games, Can Jam and Spike Ball, that existed in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That's pretty pathetic when you think about it. There's a new athletic leisure company. Like I'm wearing cuts right now. I'm wearing this fucking $100 hat for no reason,
Yeah.
right? There's new companies that come out every single week. Why is there no backyard games companies doing anything innovative? So that's
Why
why
do you think
CrossNet's
that
been
is
so
though, Chris?
successful. And
Is it just like is it like a unsexy business? Is it that no one's innovating? What's
I
the
don't know,
problem?
man. It's tough to. I mean, every business is tough in its own right. I think it's really hard to take an idea from a concept and prove to the world that you need to play this and spend your money on it.
Mm,
With like a watch or a clothing, like you're buying this stuff anyway. If the brand's sexy, like you'll buy it. Or if it looks like the new tea or matcha looks good, like you'll try it because you're already using that product. But to buy something brand new for the first time is an interesting experience, right? Like I got the $70 Yeti water bottle. I drink water, so I bought the bottle. Like think
right.
about stuff that you've bought for the first time that you've never bought before. It doesn't happen often.
I think of it almost like board games too. Because I see people that start like so we see a lot of like Kickstarters come through like one of our warehouses too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because this board game I feel it kind of is like that the Can Jam and the Crossnet
Yeah,
world where like it's you're not shooting darts, but you can't put your marketing hat on and say like reverse engineered the demand gen, which is much different, right? Which is what like for specific like Amazon, which is what we live and breathe. Like it's so easy to reverse engineer of like here's a demand, now source a product that's better. Versus
exactly.
you guys, you're building the products to create the demand, which is like it's a completely different
Yeah,
scenario, and the risk is way different too.
exactly. 100%.
That's madness, man. Okay, no, this is cool. And now, obviously, our podcast is called Ship Happens, right? Tell us about some of the drop of the balls, and whether it was early stage, whether it was recent.
I'll tell you one
Obviously,
that's been recent, like 2 weeks
yeah.
ago. Our water product, we cannot stay in stock at all.
Mm,
Last year we dropped, let's call it 10,000 units. We had H2O. It sold out in like 3 weeks. And this year we brought in way more, thinking we'd have enough inventory. And we're still sold out. So we've probably missed out on over $250,000 in the last like 30 days just because we cannot keep enough inventory.
yeah,
And the summer season's such a short window, right? Let's call it 90 days of summer. If we fuck up our inventory and not have enough from the get, by the time they manufacture, ship it over, and land it, summer's already out. So if
right.
you mess up the first few weeks, you already shot yourself in the foot. So like in the next few days, we'll start having like 10,000 more units come in, which will be great. But we're already halfway through July at this point, so it's like kind of already messed up. So supply chain has just been so hard, and predicting inventory for a game that has no history because you're making a new product
That
is,
was my question.
and like we're working on some stuff behind the scenes that's not public yet, but like we're launching a new product, a new company with new products. It's gonna happen, right? Like we're gonna have
Mm.
sellouts really quick, and then some products will suck, and we'll have extra inventory. It's finding that balance, and also trying to make sure that you just always have enough on hand for, hey, this retailer randomly wants 1,000 units. Can we make them happy?
So walk us through the process. And like, if let's say that Chris and I we're going to build a brand new product tomorrow,
Yep.
that's going to compete head to head with Crossnet. Let's say it's the camping version of it, right?
Yep.
Whatever it may be. You can tell I'm pretty sure with product generation ideas, but uh, how would you think about the inventory forecasting if you have no context for demand then yet? Like,
Yeah.
how does that work in your head, and how would you reverse engineer?
Yeah. Good question. So the way I would look, if are we selling the product on our own website or a brand new website?
No, brand new website.
Brand new website. All right, cool. So what I would probably do is I would look at Crossnet's traffic. Also,
Okay.
I'd look at Crossnet's bank account and how much money we're spending on marketing compared to this new company we're coming up with. I would take a percentage of traffic. Let's just, for easy math, right? Let's say we're going to get 50% of Crossnet's traffic. So I would understand that. I would then bake in an average conversion rate. And knowing that we're starting this new company and we're only selling direct to consumer on our website and not Amazon and not retail, we're going to have a higher conversion rate on our website because there's no other points of distribution.
Mm.
So let's call it a 3% conversion rate.
And
So
let's say we have 10,000 visitors on the website
yeah.
that you want to measure
So we
from.
got 10,000 visitors. Let's say we have a 3% conversion rate. I don't do math on the spot. So whatever that daily order volume is,
300.
exactly 300 units a day. That'd be beautiful. I now know that 3,000 units come in a 40-foot container. So that mental math is I got about 10 days per container.
Yeah.
I know it takes 90 days to get shit over here. So I need X amount of containers before, like, so you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
to stock up, we're building a runway here, and that's kind of the plan, is to make sure that we have just enough inventory. That way we're selling through enough that the next containers are arriving on time. So that's how I'd build out the forecast.
Right.
And you probably want a plus or minus 20% extra in case, hey, things are going well. Dick's Sporting Goods gives me a call and says, hey, we need some extra. Or, hey, we want to pick up some,
And like with the new products, obviously, like you guys have a huge project with a lot of unique products coming out. But when you think about a situation like that, is there also a gut instinct of like, oh shit, I just know this will fly? Because like your head between TikTok and marketing, like I feel like you also have a good pulse to go like, this one's going to crush it. This one will be half baked, but it's the loss leader and it's going to do X, Y, Z.
And that's how we're actually designing stuff, right? So with the new company that we're launching, I love how we're talking like, it's not public yet, but it's coming out very shortly.
Right.
Will be products that will be residual Amazon plays, that we see that there's kind of like what we were talking about 5 minutes ago. There's a track record on Amazon. We're doing it a little bit better. We're making it a little bit sexier. And here's the historicals that we could see that if we just dropped it off on Amazon and did nothing but run PPC on it, and got a little bit of attention from performance, this is what's going to happen. And then
Mm,
here's the other hero products that when cash flow is good enough, we'll build individual marketing teams around, like a Crossnet. And
right.
eventually we'll build cohorts around those products.
So some of them can be discounted as almost like brand awareness. So you're fine if you're going to break even on those because those are going to funnel
Yeah, I
right
don't
back
think
to your
we're ever going
website.
to break even on anything. I'm not wasting my time to break even ever. But those were the products that don't get me out of bed in the morning, but will make us money and build our category and assortment.
Got it. And when it comes to the retail piece, obviously you guys have been crushing it with everything retail. How do you guys think about those dynamics between the retail, the D2C? We have a lot of founders, merchants that speak to us on a daily basis and also are listening to this session. And obviously, like they're traditionally, a lot of them are big D2C plays
Yeah.
and they're built like that. How do you think about the retail play? When is it the right time? How did you guys think about it?
Yeah. So for us, when you're building a new product, like a brand new game from scratch, you need to have, unless you're influencer led and you could guarantee that people are coming to the store, you need to have the proven track record on direct to consumer that people are aware of your product, are now coming into the store. Otherwise, you're going to have the same situation Crossnet did when we launched, where nobody cared about the game because nobody knew what it was,
Mm,
especially if it's a higher price point, right? Like nobody's randomly taking a $150 flyer on a
right.
game they've never seen before. So with the retail, I like to at least have the product out in the market for a year, unless you could guarantee that demand. And then from there, if it's more of a residual play, let's just say I'm reinventing cornhole, sure, drop that off at a retailer because it already sells. Just like a nice T-shirt would sell as long as the color schemes and branding works. But for me, retail is really important as a backyard games manufacturer. Like that's where people go to buy their sports still. That's where I go shop. If I'm on a vacation, I need a football real quick or I need something, I'm going to my local sporting goods store. And that's also a place for education that happens. What are the new games that are out in the market? I probably do it more because I'm in the space, but every time I'm
Right.
in a Target or a Walmart, I'm going down the sporting goods aisle, taking photos on my phone of what are the new games and how can I make them better.
Mm. And your guys' sales, just from a percentage breakdown, we don't have to talk about
Yeah, yeah,
specifics, but the retail versus the e-commerce, like how do those spread out just so we can see how bullish you are on something like in-store versus the D2C
yeah.
play?
The goal is always to keep it like a 50-50 blend. This year, we're trending way more on wholesale, probably like 65% wholesale. However, we're now nearing halfway through summer. The majority of our revenue for the rest of the calendar year will be direct to consumer and Amazon because the stores have already stocked up. So we typically trend heavy retail early, first 6 months, and then more direct to consumer the last 6 months.
Got it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, Chris, while we still had you here, was obviously when it comes to the creator community, like the creator economy. Obviously, like between your guys, influencers, and maybe we can even use the example of this the new game that we're building now. You and I, basically, the
Yeah.
whatever this camp one is, this half-ass version. How do you think about the creator economy now? Like with influencers, are you guys utilizing them? How much are you utilizing them? Obviously, for people who haven't seen Crossnet,
Yeah.
just give us your thought process and the brain of how you think about these things.
Yeah. So my thought process 12 months ago was I went all in on creators and I went so all in on them that we had a team of 216 content creators on staff every month creating content. And it was too much. Too much to manage, too much content to wrangle. I'd say 80% of the content never saw the light of day because there was just too much content that we didn't even need. And I pissed away a lot of money.
Mm,
So terrible mistake for Chris last year. This year we're focused on like 5 or 6 really good content creators that hit different demos, right? We have a good looking girl, we have a good looking guy, we have an older family, we have this person, like volleyball player, right? Checks a bunch of different demographic boxes.
yeah,
And we're creating content around that. And then each of those people, not only will we whitelist from their accounts, but they have dedicated TikTok pages. So it'd be like Crossnet Chris, and he's building a TikTok, putting all of his content on there. We're using the content for our own TikTok, but they're also building up their own pages. So some of these creators that we have on staff, they have thousands of followers now. They're getting 100,000 views per video. And that's on top of the views that we're posting on our main account when we're repurposing the video.
Right. And how are you thinking about compensation with these guys, especially with like these six? Is it
Yeah.
on a percentage?
So
Is it a salary? What is it?
so it's not salary. Right now it's a monthly like big mistake I made was putting people on annual and 6-month contracts last year because
With the
audience.
influencers.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
massive mistake. Audiences fade, audiences get fatigued. I want to prove it out. So we go month to month. It depends on kind of their followers and also how dedicated they are, but also
Right.
how like their quality of content. But an average deal could be one I was just reviewing that we had this girl on staff. She's $1,700 a month. She creates 30 pieces of content a month for us, so one a day.
Okay.
She runs a TikTok account and she gives us all the content to use. So I'm getting 30 assets, and then so it's 1,700, and then for every 50,000 views, sorry, yeah, I think it's 50. It might be 50 or 100,000, whatever. She gets a $50 bonus. So we give her bonuses based on her view count. I'm not in charge of running the social, but that's pretty much the numbers.
What's the most you guys have ever paid for an influencer? If you don't mind me asking.
The biggest deal we've ever done, I think, was a $5,000 a month deal. So it wasn't like anything
Okay,
like,
that's not bad.
yeah, it's nothing. We're never playing Russian roulette. Crossnet's been bootstrapped, so it's like it kills my soul to spend any more than that.
I got it. That makes a lot of sense. Now, now obviously TikTok's been a big push for you guys, and obviously you guys are crushing it there. Is that going to change over the next 12 months? How is Facebook getting integrated? Because I know you guys are super bullish on Facebook too.
Yeah,
These dynamics of the media marketing is so crazy right now, and everything's hitting the fan. What are your thoughts on it? How are you guys building this? What's the next year look like?
yeah. So Facebook's been the bread and butter. However, we're trying to put our dollars to what converts best, obviously, like any operator would.
Right.
So we're looking at money, AMR, uh, efficiency ratio, especially like how our money's performing best on what channel, and trying to elevate it there. So every day we're breaking down how much we're spending on Facebook, how much on Insta, how much on TikTok, how much on Google, how much on Amazon PPC, and seeing the individual ROAS in each channel. And then from there, we're allocating money differently. So the goal is right now, our Amazon is performing at like a 9 ROAS. So to me, we need to start spending more money because
Right.
we're not efficient enough. So how can we spend more money? And is it spending less on Facebook and moving the budget over there? Or is it spending more money on Facebook or going Facebook direct to Amazon? So those are the ways we're thinking about things. I'll tell you, we're spending less on Facebook than we were 6 months ago. I'd like to get TikTok to be a place where we're spending a couple $1,000s a day. Right now, it's not it, to be honest. Right now, Amazon PPC has been crushing it for us. So it's been a big focus for us.
And are you guys changing these decisions on a daily, weekly? It sounds like you guys, and I saw that, I think you posted on LinkedIn the dashboard that you
Yeah,
guys
so
have.
we're
It's nuts.
we're reviewing them daily. Absolutely. We have a weekly marketing call, a weekly performance marketing review with our media buyer, and we're posting new content on the daily. But yeah, we're like, for example, this morning I saw Canada was super efficient. Like our target MER is a 4. If we're above a 4,
Yeah.
um, fucking spend as much money as possible. But
Mm.
obviously, I don't want backlash the next day when we're unprofitable. So we were at a 9. Go spend. So we increased budget by $400. If it holds steady for 2 days, we'll bump it up another $400, and we'll keep going in that kind of pattern.
Where are you taking the company? Like, what do you envision over the next few years? Obviously, you've crushed it. And I have one more question after, more on like the
Yeah.
personal health side. But
I mean, I want to have between Crossnet and the new thing we're doing, I want to build the biggest backyard games company in the country, in the world. I want you to look at Crossnet and Good Sport as like we build the future of backyard games. There's nobody doing anything innovative. I want to be the cohort that's dropping new fun shit for your kids and my kids.
it's madness. How, obviously, with everything that you're dealing with, you got a lot of shit on your plate, right? And obviously, there's a lot of pressure there too. And even like between how we've been chatting, you're constantly on flights. You're everywhere
Yeah,
right now, and
sucks.
you got a lot of stuff happening. How are you balancing it? When from just like a mental place, the burnout. Is there things that you're doing? Is there things that founders may be able to take notes
Yeah,
on?
it's
Because
a
you're
good
doing a lot
question,
of
bro.
stuff.
I always make time for the gym. I mean, this is kind of a cliche answer, but I go to the gym every single day. I have
Yeah.
this fucking overpriced Peloton right behind me, but
Yeah.
I try to work out at least one, if not once, twice a day, just to sweat it out, put my phone away.
Is that cardio? Is that like a workout session? What
I
is it?
work out with a trainer 3 or 4 times a week, and so that's really good. The Peloton's beautiful behind me. I try to do a very good job at 6 o'clock to put my phone down, either put it in another room or lock it away to spend time with my girl and disconnect. Um, have been very good about canceling meetings. If I'm in a meeting and I'm not talking, which is seldom these days, sadly, but if I'm in a meeting and I'm not talking, I'm in the wrong meeting and I should not be in that meeting ever again. I saw something good over the weekend of reviewing your calendar on Sunday night and cancel all the shit that you shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
That's good. And prioritizing, calendaring out time to actually do work. Like I have this newsletter that I write weekly.
It's wicked. Yeah.
Thank you. Like I have 20 minutes to bang this out and edit it and make sure it's good before I hit send at 12:30. Like it's just having the priorities, man. And it's having people in your corner that believe in you and kind of align with your goals. Like my girl's a godsend. Like if she knows how much fucking work I put into this, but she's so supportive of all that. And like it wouldn't happen if I didn't have the support at home, you know?
What's the calendar look like right now? Kind of the last question of this, but walk
calendar
me
right
through
now. Today's a shit.
walk me through a day in the life. What does it look
I
like?
gotta edit it. I gotta edit the email in for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I got my daily stand up. So I meet at 12 o'clock every day with my exec team.
Yep.
What fires do we got to put out? What's good? What's bad? What's on the forecast? I'm double booked at 12:30, so I got a Shopify app call and then also like an investment call at 12:30. I have another investment call at 1 o'clock. I then have we're working on a deal with USA Volleyball. Well, we're official partners with USA Volleyball.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm meeting them at 2. I have a meeting with my Shopify rep at 2. I got a podcast at 3. I got a podcast at 4. And then I got another call at 4:30. So that's a day in the life right now. But every day kind of varies.
How many hours are you getting to sleep per day?
Oh, dude, I go to bed every night. By midnight, I'm waking up at 7. Like 7.5, easy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm not the type to work past 6 o'clock if I don't need to.
Aaron was roasting my sleep schedule, and then he also he said I have the sleeping watch, and we did this like over and under thing. I was like, what he's bullish on, and I was asking him about like sleeping watches. He's like, I hate them. He's like, I hate them so much. He's like, I think they're rubbish, and I'm like, and I literally just put the deposit on this bloody Whoop, which was like almost $1,000.
Jesus.
And then I hear him talking about this, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, let me just take off the bracelet while I'm speaking.
That's funny. You get enough? How often you sleep?
I'm getting pretty good now. Like I'm getting up early though. Like so I have a personal trainer too, but I'm doing that session at like 6 a.m. So I'm getting up at like 4:45. But I'm in bed like 9:30.
Okay,
latest.
That's
10.
good though.
And I'm tracking everything through Whoops, and then that helps me too. So at least like my whatever Aaron says, screw it. I like this bad boy.
That's
and so it's not bad. So I'm usually working from like 9 till 6. And then I usually do it another like hour and a half in the evening, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
And then some time with the wife. And then we have scheduled date nights on Wednesday and then the weekends too.
That's good. Scheduled date nights are really important for sure.
I'm gonna share it over, and I'll add it to the show notes for everyone too. I listened to a podcast by Rob Deerdeck from Fantasy Factory.
Of course.
His schedule, I don't know if you've ever seen it, Chris, is madness.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was built like that. And
I listened to I was I forget what podcast I listened to him on, but I am fast. He was so smart.
It was the My First Million.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah. I listened to the whole thing, and it blew my mind away. And since then, like I've been tracking everything way different. I just bought this tool called Rise, RIZE.
Okay.
And it's basically like it basically like does what he has, where like it analyzes your entire Google Calendar. And it basically gives you like end of day and end of week performance metrics based off like your Google Calendar and like what you're doing on your computer. So it's like the same one that you have on your phone for like what sort of random apps you're on.
Yeah.
It's like this, but it's like hyper in depth of like, here's your mouth speed, here's your productivity scores, here's where you're wasting time. I think I spent way too much on it, but it was a good investment.
That's crazy though.
All right, Chris, man, thank you so much for doing this bad boy. Where can everyone find you?
LinkedIn, Chris Meade, Twitter, Chris Meade, crossnetgame.com, and soon playgoodsport.com.
Come on now. All right. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate the hustle, and we'll be chatting soon.
Thanks, bro. Peace.